Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Sunday, February 3rd. And since I am out and about this morning, I thought I would do a little car cast. A lot's gone on since Friday. We had our eviction. We did our podcast since I last talked to you guys on here, I think. Which was fun, good. You should check it out if you haven't. There's certainly, definitely things that, after having watched last night's show that we talked about and played audio from that was not shown on last night's show, or very edited versions of what happened, even though we do edited versions, severely edited versions of what happened, were shown on the TV show, since they really didn't have much time to dedicate to competition kind of stuff. I mean, they spend, at least 10, 15 minutes on the POV competition, and we couldn't because we didn't have that thing. We spent time on other things. So, it's like 2 hours and 20, 25 minutes, I think, is how long our show was Friday night. So check it out. You can go to bigbrotherpodcast.com, and from there's links to every kind of way to listen to it that you could want as well. Not just right on the page. You can click on about 4 different links and it'll start playing, but it'll give you the different services that are available. But if you just Google Big Brother Gossip Show, you'll find the links. And frankly, if you've never listened to a podcast before and don't know how to do it, well then tweet at me and I will walk you through it. Those people that know me know that I like helping people out, and I'll certainly give you some kind of a guide, find out what kind of device you're using and say, well, then you should use this and you should do this. And then you'll be exposed to the world of podcasting. Speaking of the world of podcasting, just as an off topic, very brief, our podcast, I think yesterday's episode was in like top 50 in TV and film. I mean, we used to regularly be we were in the top 10 often a couple of years ago, and now we're like much further down. Now I will tell you that it's, in my opinion, and I don't have any good numbers to go by this, but I'm pretty sure it's not because we're less popular. It's because there's just so many more podcasts, and professionally done podcasts too. I mean, just companies are just dumping out this stuff now. The amount of stuff available is, tenfold what it was when we even 2 years ago. We've been doing this for a lot longer than that, but it's just massively so much more competition. So even to be in the top 50 on iTunes in TV and film, when you look at what else is there, is pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. All right, enough about all that. Let's talk about Big Brother. So I yesterday was at a wedding, as I noted several times. I did watch. I got quite obsessed with watching Joey do his morning prep routine, where he turns on a hairdryer the entire time he's doing his morning prep, which I timed it, was 52 minutes yesterday morning. You just turn on the hairdryer, set it on its side, kind of pointed out. And so he stands there in front of a hairdryer doing all his facial stuff, mascara on his eyes, brows, and his beard, and creams and all kinds of stuff. And then he picked up a little ditty bag and took it into the actual toilet. I don't know what he was doing in there, but I'm assuming it was something that wasn't TV viewable. There was many theories, but I will spare you those. You can come up with whatever you want. I don't know what he needed to go do in a bathroom. I mean, other than use the bathroom, but I usually don't walk in with a little handheld case when I go into my bathroom. So he did all that. I had fun with it. Look, Ricky's OCD. He said he's OCD. I know he's OCD because I also then followed it up with talking about the way he cleans the coffee machine before he made coffee. It's who he is, and I'm observing it and making fun of it. But as I also noted, hey, look, I'm a guy who's sitting here watching somebody else on the internet obsessively for over an hour yesterday. So yeah, I've got that going for me. Then I took off to go to this wedding, and I was gone for the rest of the of the day. I didn't get home till 11 o'clock last night, Eastern time, which means I sat down in front of my TV right as it was starting to air in California. So I'm like, all right, and Oregon and the general West Coast, Pacific time. And I had managed to. I'm at this wedding reception. And I was at the wedding, and didn't look at my phone once during the wedding. And my wife was driving us to the wedding reception, which was like 20 minutes away. And I'm like, oh, they're blowing up. There's fights going on. Oh, I'm stuck I'm at a wedding reception. And then the feed's cut. And then I'm at this reception where, speaking of the word reception, I got virtually zero reception in the actual reception hall itself. And I would kind of wander over. This was by the way, some people ask, who gets married in February? Lots of people get married in February other than Valentine's Day. Lots and lots and lots of people. And there's weddings every weekend. I don't know if the person who asked that question was being silly or what. In this particular case, this couple is heavily involved in agriculture and farming. And so a lot of farmers get married in fall and winter because they aren't working. They tend to... They are working. I shouldn't say that. They are working. They're doing prep work and clean work and maintaining their equipment and doing all kinds of stuff. But it's not as to the level that it is during the summer. During the summer, they aren't getting married on a Saturday. Most farmers are not getting married on a Saturday during the summer. They're usually out in the field doing stuff. So, anyways, they got married. We're at this reception in the middle of nowhere. I have to stand by a window to get any kind of bars on my phone. And so, but this is family from my wife's side. Not family, it's friends, very close friends from my wife's side. So I'm like, she knows everybody. I know very few people. And I'm not being antisocial. And on top of that, and let's touch on this for a second. But we'll get to the actual Big Brother in a second. By the way, sorry guys, I'm totally on tangents, rolls here, whatever you want to say. The medicine that I'm on because of my the illness that I had last week, because I was at the doctor's office. I think, I mentioned all that. I'm on a couple of different antibiotics, and one of them, and I don't have them with me, or I tell you the name of it, because I know there's a lot of people in the medical profession that listen to me, nurses and such, and I'm sure a couple of physicians, although, yes. It specifically says, do not take with alcohol. You cannot have alcohol. You'll get, violently ill if you drink alcohol. So I'm at a wedding reception, and I can't have any alcohol. And no, I don't need alcohol to get through a wedding reception, but I'm with very few people I know. So I'm like twiddling my thumbs. I'm trying to check the phone. And so I was like, I'd wander over to a window and hold my phone up and see what was going on. And I kind of was making jokes about all this. I'm just, and interacting with people on Twitter. And then right as showtime came on, I was like, okay, now I'm going to stop following Twitter because I don't want to know what happens on the show. I went about 5 minutes into the show watching Twitter feed to see what was going on, and then that was it. Then I stopped watching Twitter completely. So when I got home last night, I had no clue what happened during the live show. Watching the live show, and of course, who was the first person in? Was it Lolo or Natalie? Lolo and Natalie were the first one in, and they voted to evict Joey. And I went, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Something's going on here. And sure enough, obviously, while the feeds were down before the show, the decision was made that they were just going to vote out Joey as a house. And I'm guessing, and I think that's what many others have speculated. I'm not unique in this speculation. My guess was Tamar said, look, guys, I'm voting out Joey. I'm not getting rid of Candy. And Natalie and Lolo and Ricky came to the decision that, well, we're not going to, make it a 3-3 tie and give Tom the satisfaction of voting out Joey, the opportunity to vote out Joey. We're just going to vote him out as well. So that's what happened. And Joey got voted out. It was fun because he got out and he made fun of Lolo for being really, easy to set off, which it was kind of funny because we had this, Colette's had this conspiracy thing about the fact that they tried to protect Lolo's temper in some respects on the feeds, and yet here's Joey basically going off on it for about a minute and a half on stage, and they really can't cut away when that happens. So, anyways, they that happened, and then of course the feeds were down after the show until like 11:15 Big Brother time. So just really shortly after I started watching the TV show was not when they came back. So I really didn't miss a whole lot. I missed about 45 minutes of the feeds because I was done right before. I was probably done about 11:45 because I was fast forwarding. So I really only missed about half hour of the feeds. And as it turned out, when the feeds came back, that apparently Tamar had won head of household. So Tamar is the new head of household. And so that's, she's won. She's now, she won that special power. Now she's won a head of household. She's obviously now, it throws out the power of the publicist. That nullifies that power. There's no need for it. She couldn't use it on anybody else, and she wouldn't want to anyways. She controls nominations. So really, even if she could use it on someone else, she wouldn't need to because she controls nominations. So Tamar's got that. As I said, that kind of was a waste. The power of the publicist was a waste, but really it wasn't. It caused so much chaos in the last week that it was an interesting device, and I am sure it's locked in to be used going forward. As Scott said on our podcast, it's in both the Big Brother 20 and this season, that really caused some paranoia and chaos over the course of a week. Tamar is obviously, without a doubt, going to put up Tom and Kato. Now, I speculated this morning on Twitter that I thought she might, that they might want to get rid of Tom, thinking, well, Tom's the one who was the head of household. Tom's the one who kind of seemed to be the super paranoid, causing all kinds of grief for people and everything. But she speculated, Tamar talked about maybe getting Kato out. So I would say that's still developing. I don't know. I don't know which way the house is leaning. I don't know which they see as more powerful. I don't know who they see as a bigger target to get out between Tom and Kato. I'm just not sure. Obviously, Tamar does not have a vote to make. It will be a 5 vote. So even if Tamar had the house split on who they wanted to vote out, somebody would have the choice. Tamar will not get to break a vote or anything to send somebody out. So Tamar is head of household. She should be making nominations today. I also initially speculated that maybe the power veto meeting would be sometime today, but it sounds like it'll be live on the show. So it'll be live POV, live eviction, and then maybe a head of household competition. Maybe the head of household competition maybe live, or it may be an endurance or something that they're going to go over over after the show. I don't know. Certainly haven't got any alerts that the head of household will be shown on the feeds. That is what's going on, I think. There's been additional stuff that I saw about, where Tom's like, well, I can, if I win, first of all, they're like, Kato and like, let's show up to the nomination meeting with our bags, and when we get nominated, we can make a dash for the door, like a pretend dash for the door, like we're just getting the heck out of Dodge. And Tom also talked about, wouldn't it, I'm again paraphrasing, but would it be hilarious if I won the power veto and yet I saved Kato with it, because that would be a really, that would be a dumb move, that would be an unexpected move, and I know in some ways they say this stuff kind of like jokingly, like, I don't really care if I go or stay. And Tom had even said, well, if I go, I go. It's just what happens. It's not a bad thing to be out ahead of the mass exodus, which is what there will be, a mass exodus, double eviction on Friday, and then 3 more on Wednesday. Whoever goes out on Monday will have an entire week and a half of freedom, and the opportunity to do press and talk to people and stuff. And not that it's something big like, oh my God, let's talk to Tom. But he'd have that chance. So, 1 second, please. So, Tom thinks that, he obviously knows that the writing's on the wall. I'll briefly mention something that I also tweeted about this morning about Ricky. Tom said, can we all just kind of smile or something to that effect? And Ricky said, we do smile when you're not in the room. And it's like, Tom, I'm not giving Tom a pass. The Tom is not, Tom certainly can be slightly passive-aggressive, can say things to kind of get a reaction, kind of poke at people. For sure. There's no doubt that Tom does all that. And I totally, it's totally, I totally know it because that's how he was on his show, his Tom Green show. I mean, he was that kind of a person. He was kind of an ass, and no doubt about it. But I just get this feel like Ricky's like, God, Ricky, don't be a dick. Why would you do that? Why are you doing? I mean, and I'm only reading the comments because I haven't seen this particular instances on the feed, but that comment and some other comment about that Ricky made that is like, dude, why? I mean, why are you that? So I do have a theory. All right, Ricky wants to win, not the game necessarily. Ricky wants to beat all the other guys. Ricky's a football player. Ricky's a competitor. If he beats every single guy, he has dominated the guys in the house. And I think that's there in the back of Ricky's head. I think to Ricky, this is not necessarily about winning the game. This is about defeating every other male in the house. I probably will end up tweeting about that. Because his odds of beating all the women are pretty slim because he did make a comment that, once Tom and Kato were gone, he's the last guy. And that to me tells me that he's very aware of that particular thing. Whereas most people might be like, well, crap, once they're gone, I'm the only guy and I'm going to be easy pickings. So, that's what's up. The feeds may be down quite a bit today. This was Super Bowl Sunday, which, I'm not particularly... I don't particularly care about the Super Bowl. This is not my... there's no team that I care about. Although I will be honest, if I have to root, I will root against the Patriots. Now, I am a Colts fan, and the Colts have had a bit of a history with the Patriots, so there's a reason for that. It's there's like, it's kind of more of a, I'm going to root against you, but I don't particularly care about the Rams. I was never a Rams fan when they were in St. Louis or in, the other places they have been. I'm not like a huge Rams fan. The three teams that I give any kind of a care about, I thought about this morning. I was like, well, who would I care? And it's like, all right, obviously the Colts. That's in my home state, and I grew up. But before the Colts were in town, before the Colts were a thing, I was a Bears fan because the Bears were near me. So I was a Chicago Bears fan, and they won the Super Bowl while I was a Bears fan. So you got the Chicago Bears that I don't really follow them much anymore. But if they made it to the Super Bowl, by gosh, yes, I'm rooting for them. I'm watching them. I'm rooting for them. You bet. And then the Saints, and the Saints is more of a Drew Brees thing. Drew Brees played college in Indiana, and big fan of Drew Brees. I always liked Drew Brees, and I've always kind of followed his career. Thought he got screwed over by San Diego, but he happily landed in New Orleans, and so I've been very, very, I do root for them. I think it was didn't they play the Bears? That was kind of a dual Super Bowl, I think. Anyways, I root for the Saints. I don't have a big investment in them, but I do root for them because of Drew Brees, and then Chicago Bears and the Colts. None of them are in it. I really don't care. I don't care if the Rams win. I don't care if the Patriots win, although I'd rather the Rams win just because I don't want to hear about Tom Brady and the Patriots. And I'm sorry, you Patriots fan, because I'm sure there are a few of you out there listening to this, so apologies in advance. I don't I don't want you to have a bad evening and have your team not win. But at the same time, sorry. So I had suggested to Heath at Big Brother that the house guests, if they were allowed to watch the game, that they should be allowed to. Someone should win a chance to watch the game, and then we could watch along, or they could just get to watch it and we could watch along. I don't think any of that's going to happen. I'm guessing their agenda is way too full with things to do today, like with the power veto. So they're not going to. They will not be watching. I imagine during the Super Bowl, the house guests will actually be doing the power veto. Although it'd be funny if they got to watch the power veto while they were doing the power veto. No, they won't. If they do, we'll hear about it. No doubt. They won't manage to not talk about that. But power veto. Oh, so where am I going? All right, I'm driving the wrong way here. Sorry, I'm in drive to work mode, whereas actually I'm going to basketball game, and I need to drive slightly differently when I do that. So, where am I at? Ricky, okay, cool. Hey, we're talking about Super Bowl. So Super Bowl today. Very busy show tomorrow with the live eviction. Tom Mercado's leaving. There's just no way that Tom Mercado one of them is not going out of the house tomorrow. And the other person will be pretty solo, may hang out with Dina some, since Dina really doesn't have anybody. But she's pretty much been just a fixture in the house. She's not doing anything. Dina's done nothing in the house. I mean, looked at her in that competition last night. I'm not knocking her, but she just isn't doing anything. And frankly, Ricky isn't doing anything in the house except for, he's not competing. He's just a part of the alliances. So, but when he ends up being the last guy in the house, that may be interesting. And he very well may end up being the last male in the house. I think with that, I am done. I'm almost to where I need to park. And I have talked a lot about Big Brother, but a lot about other things besides Big Brother. Apologies for those of you thanks to those of you who made it through my entire little talk session. Basketball game parking. Always a good time. Who managed to listen to me ramble. Oh, it's Sunday? Oh. Uh-oh. So it's a Sunday, and it's a basketball game. And I normally park by a church. Let's see if they've all gone for the day. Let's see if there's parking around here. I may be able to go back. Oh, yeah, there we go. Thanks, Grandpa. Thankfully, he's older than me because he just took a spot. Just had a gentleman pull right in front of me into a spot. Turkey. All right, I'm going to hang up, guys, because I got to deal with parking. And we'll see. I'm going to go back to another spot. Oh, did Grandpa give up? Grandpa gave up. All right, Grandpa. I'll take that spot. They thought they couldn't park there. They can. All right. Even better. Yep. We are out of here. We will talk to you later. You guys have a wonderful day. And see you on the flip side. Bye-bye.